सुना है सेठ, जिनके अपने घर शीशे के हों वो दूसरों पर पत्थर नहीं फेंका करते।
Okay, hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Queen is Dead. I am Sanjeet and I have Dhruv with me. And today we have a very special guest on the show, Sanket Mistry, who's a famous YouTuber and a fellow podcaster. You can check out his channel Cinephile Sanket, which we'll obviously plug as well at the end, and you can check the link in our bio. And today we are having this normal conversation. And Sanket, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you so much, Sanjeet, and thank you so much, Dhruv, for like having me on your podcast, which is called Queen is Dead. Thank you so much. I'm actually having I actually have a dream that since I have also run a podcast on YouTube, I actually have
Hmm.
a dream that I could also share my knowledge of cinema to other podcasts as well. So,
Huh, huh, huh.
and this is the like not the only, but yeah. I have been to other podcasts as well, but like I would after listening to your podcast, I actually love
Huh.
to be part of your podcast as well. So thank you so much for calling me, and thank you so much for inviting me. I
Very
actually run a
Nah,
YouTube channel as well.
not
high
used to
praise.
this much niceness. Yeah,
High praise.
yeah.
No, but look, it's my pleasure for having me also
Hare,
for coming
hare,
to the podcast.
hare. Okay, so first of all, we'll go with our Q&A. So this Q&A we put up at the beginning on our Instagram stories, so people who have any questions can ask whatever they want to on Instagram, and we'll answer them on our podcast. Dhruv, you'll read out the questions, or I'll do, or I'll.
I'll read out, don't worry, because the most important question I'm going to read out first. This is from Artless Sparky, who I know personally, but okay, he
Wow,
he has he has written, is it true that you guys treat your workers horribly, that your work environment is harsher than Amazon's? What do you
that's
say
true.
about that? It is
That's true.
true. How
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it
yeah.
true? How is it
D-
true, Sanjay?
No, I won't explain it.
As in, what do you mean? Who treats you harsher than
Uh,
Amazon?
who treats me harshly?
I can say by my experience that I've been treated harshly because I
That
was
was
assigned to watch Free Guy.
assigned. My
To watch
God,
Free Guy,
I
which
watched
is
Free Guy myself. No, later on.
no, but whatever. Horrible question, Atlas Baki. Be more imaginative. Anyways, next next question. These are like actual questions. This was nonsense. Uh, this is from instas underscore nitty.
Hmm.
Fave TV series question mark.
Hmm. Sanket, would you want to go first?
My favorite TV series would be The Sopranos, and I usually tend to watch the mini series,
Hmm. Hmm.
like Band of Brothers and Band of Brothers, Chernobyl.
Hmm.
Those are some of my favorite all time favorite mini series.
Hmm.
And in the long format series, like House of Cards and The Sopranos, those are some of my all-time favorite TV series. Just like I am a fan of those gangster dramas, which like
Hmm.
Scorsese
Hmm.
has introduced us, and even Francis Ford Coppola has also introduced us. But to just get into their lives of
Hmm.
how Italian American families are actual.
Hmm.
So like Sopranos actually did that to
Hmm.
me, and from the show I got to know that every Italian surname ends with a vowel.
Hmm.
And that's actually I got to know from this series. And it's a very unique show, and where it uh, like now I don't know people can make that kind of show,
Hmm.
the level which it was made, but yeah, still like
They
people.
made. I mean, Breaking Bad is a direct
Yeah,
inspiration,
absolutely.
and
Like I was about to say that, yeah,
uh,
Breaking Bad and even Mad Men, like Mad Men is
hmm.
also there are some people who didn't like it. Obviously, the
Hmm.
pacing is the issue for them. But when I talk to some people from the advertising industry, they actually
Hmm.
told me that, like, yeah, that's actually the honest one of the honest portrayals of the industry, and like they actually agree with them. And obviously there is like there's like so much booze and cigarettes and like girls around,
Excess.
like
Excess.
excess, but still like it's like I've watched this show twice, like in the
Oh,
entirety. And obviously in the first run I
how
watched,
how many seasons? कितना seasons है?
I think it's 6 seasons, 5 or 6 seasons. But
Okay.
when I watched this for the first time, obviously we watched it in its entirety. So, but when I watched this for the second time, I
Hmm.
just watched the sales pitches and like the office things and all those stuff. So I just enjoyed watching that. And even with the Sopranos as well, like I cut to all those like mob scenes and all those. Like I skipped the family scenes, like sometimes, not always, because like the family scenes were also like equally
Hmm.
amazing, unlike Mad Men. So I actually
Yeah.
like that. And the thing is, Sopranos actually inspired all those guys like Matt Weiner
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and even Terry Winters, and all those people. Like they were actually the showrunners and even the writers for the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. Right on.
And in their time, in like the late 2000s and the early 2010s, they were like they created like one of the best shows like Mad Men. And even
Hmm.
Terry Winters
Dexter.
created no, I don't know, like
I
I
don't know
haven't
Terry
seen Dexter.
Winters. I haven't seen Dexter, but I think all those writers in the writers' room people created all these. Boardwalk Empire, I think, was created by Terence
Boardwalk
Winter.
Empire. I was about to say that, like that Boardwalk Empire,
Huh.
he credited it. So Sopranos is a landmark show because like it like depicted violence like anything other. And actually, funny thing, like I actually watched a video on YouTube. It was with a real life mobster, and
Uh-huh.
Michael Franchise. I think, yeah. Like I'm sorry if I'm spelling that name incorrectly. So he was in that video, and he was actually like listening to the like watching all those clips from the
Huh.
mob films and TV shows. And there was one clip from The Sopranos as well. And he actually told that it's like the creator David Chase actually got hands in some tapes from the FBI. And and he actually mentioned that the mother's character from The Sopranos, Tony Anthony's
Huh,
mother,
huh, huh, huh.
was like like he could actually see her like the real life mobster could actually see her mother in Livia Soprano, because like that was so much authentically played
Hmm.
by the actor Nancy Marchand, who
Hmm.
actually passed away just before, I think, in 1999, just before the entire series actually completed. But she was an excellent actress. But like that's the thing, like it portrayed the mafia
Hmm.
like very authentically. But yeah, go
It's
ahead.
Um, like my
well,
all-time favorite would still be Breaking Bad, but I think a lot of
mm,
people have already heard or seen that show. So I'll tell this one show which a lot of people haven't seen, which is Barry.
mm,
It stars Bill Hader and it's created by him, Bill Hader, and Alec Berg.
mm,
So it's a black comedy thriller show,
mm,
and so the thing is, Bill Hader is a proper cinephile. Like
mm,
I've seen a lot of interviews and all of that and everything,
yeah.
and he's obviously taken a lot of inspiration from Breaking Bad's writers' room, how they've written that show. Um, so Vince Gilligan's style of whatever the group of writers, the writers' room thing.
Mm,
So with all these inspirations, he's like made this one show which is about this one assassin who wants to become an actor. Like like he has a change of heart during one of his assignments and he wants to become an actor. That's
Is
like a
this like
log line.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang? Isn't that a bit like that,
No,
or
no, no,
ulta?
no, 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 no.
Okay.
This is not real because Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was more like tongue in cheek. This is
Okay.
way away from it. This is like,
Okay. Okay.
but here's the thing. it becomes situational comedy at times. It is black comedy at times.
Hmm.
So it's like and it's like snowballing wala plot device. You know that, understand
Okay.
that, right? Like it snowballs into that last episode,
एक से दूसरा से like
and there are
whatever.
some
हाँ.
decisions that are made which you think which have that shock value also.
हाँ.
So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's damn funny, and if you are one of those people who have a hard time getting into one of the shows, sit through the first season. The second season is an absolute banger.
Okay.
It is an absolute banger because there is one episode which is, I think, um, the epitome of how you should write, how a TV episode is like you know, one of the best episodes that I've seen. I won't name it, otherwise you'll actually look forward to it, but it should come as a surprise to you. But it is absolutely fantastic. In fact, it's a short film only. It's in itself. It's like a 30-minute thing.
30-minute episodes. What? Eight episodes per
Huh,
season, or
Actually, I think 6 episodes, if I'm not wrong. I don't know,
Okay.
six or eight, either of these.
okay.
So, but the thing is, I watched the first season when each episode as it came. So I thought that worked, the HBO style, like one episode per week format.
Okay.
But you can also binge on it. I think it'll work probably that way as well.
Got it.
So
Yet to see, yaar. I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
watch Barry. I think if you don't want to,
My
watch
my
these
recommendation is
longer
gonna be similar, just gender switched and a little like the tone is similar.
Fleabag.
Fleabag, yeah. By Phoebe Waller-Bridge. By as in like she is the sort of author behind it, or like
Yeah,
the
the
director is also
central-
very good.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm choosing light-hearted because my movie recommendations are going to be absolutely
Wow.
depressing. But these two, I love these TV shows. So Fleabag, I've seen like thrice, both
Hmm.
seasons, because I love it. And it's short, like Barry. It's like
20 minutes, no?
30-minute episodes and like six each
Yeah.
of 2 seasons.
You could
And
basically finish it in
barely
2.5
anything.
hours.
Yeah, and like, so the basic, like, you can say that the humor is good, etc. So firstly, it's about this young woman who's like super brash, abrasive, abusive, whatever, sexually charged almost. She like wants to
Yeah.
she basically destroys everyone who's in her path because she can. And like, it, but underlying all that is some mystery that is happening throughout the show, which the show very gradually reveals to the viewer. And I think the way in which the show uses fourth wall breaking, and it goes, and how it does it in the second season, is something that absolutely blew my mind away. Right? I find fourth wall breaking generally kind of annoying.
I know what
So
you're talking about.
when I started watching it, I was like, I'm not sure if that technique needs to work or like needs to be there, but like the way they use it and like evolve it.
Lovely stuff.
Second season has one of the
I know.
Yeah, I can't spoil it because it's so good.
No, don't.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge is fantastic. Her writing is fantastic. All the other performances are absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
Olivia
top-notch
Colman,
stuff.
who is like she is
Her
so
stepmother,
funny.
no?
Stepmother.
Yeah, stepmother.
She,
Yeah.
like the very subtly evil stepmother who keeps on like abusing both the siblings very, very like in a very British way. The British humor sort of
Absolutely.
thing
Yeah.
very much stands there. And as Sanjeet said, that Barry has one episode which is the epitome of TV writing. I think Fleabag has one episode which is also the epitome of
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean, they're like
yeah,
complementary in a sense.
of TV episodes. It's something else. But yeah, it's one of the seasons in which the first season is great, second
Yeah.
season is phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
So, like, to me, it's like it just improves. But please don't return for another season because you have the perfect
Yeah.
show. Please
Don't.
don't return. As much as I love the character, don't return. Two shows that I really like. I won't go much in detail. So first, the other one I was talking about, Sharp Objects, HBO. Amy Adams, fantastic. And
Jean-Marc Vallée.
Jean-Marc Vallée, editing fantastic.
Yeah.
And Sara Bhai. How can I talk? That's my
season
favorite
1.
thing ever. Season 1, yeah. Season 2 is crass.
I haven't
But
seen
like
season 2, but anyway.
season 1 is all
69
time,
episodes, right?
all time, watch anytime.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Satish Shah rules.
Okay.
Anyways,
Next
next
question.
question. This is from Shrishti Jain 2101.
Yeah.
I think she already talked to us about two other shows, out of which we hadn't seen one already. This is another show. She's asking us, what's your take on Squid Game?
I haven't seen Squid Game.
Haven't
Sanket?
seen, haven't seen.
Lovely. So we have no answer for
No,
Shrishti again.
sorry.
Sadly, sorry.
We shall
Sorry.
answer your question sometime later in
Servant,
life.
I remember I communicated. Servant, Squid Game are the two shows that we need to watch then.
Oh, that
And
was someone else. That was Shreya
are you
Sanket.
sure?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
I know
Sorry,
that.
I've confused
Yeah.
people then. Sorry. Okay, so next is the newer questions you have, Sanjeet, so you can go through them.
I sent you them as well, but okay, I'll
I'll
answer.
go through the Rohit Satish Nair's question first,
Yeah.
which is about post theaters reopening. Does the OTT movie risk being similar to the direct to video movie? So basically, I think this question is
Hmm.
like
The
like
winning.
the Irishman would basically be the direct to video after the like
Yeah.
that is what the meaning is, right?
But I think in pop culture, if you see, let's not let's like if you had to look back 2 or 3 years back,
Yeah.
the VOD was specifically for films that weren't going to get a release in theaters, so
Yeah.
they were dumped to
Dumped
VOD. Yeah,
dumped on yeah.
dumped properly,
Hmm.
which I think in today's time is the case. I guess
Hmm.
because most of the films, at least the bad ones, or let's not like term it as good or bad, just
Hmm.
films have started getting dumped on platforms, OTT
But
platforms.
I think the just to answer the question even more like I guess to complicate it, I think is basically like now the OTT space is it also provides a great avenue for like filmmakers, like actual like
Definitely, but
who want to make art,
yeah,
capital
yeah,
A R T, right?
huh.
So for these filmmakers, like where will Martin Scorsese go? Like kind of
Hmm.
like that. So
Hmm.
his movies aren't direct to video, right? They are like movies
No,
on
But
platforms.
hmm.
Dhruv, I would like actually to say that so here there's a Martin Scorsese who has established himself for
Hmm.
like many decades now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So he has like he got the right to make an Irishman for just
Mm-hmm.
like a massive budget of
Yep.
200 to 300 million dollar. Like he actually earned it. But the
Yep.
thing is, if like for example I want to make a movie which is set in a galaxy far far away, like obviously Netflix won't give it to me obviously,
Yeah.
and he like they would sideline me obviously,
So
since like
credibility counts.
exactly credibility counts,
Hmm.
absolutely. And that's the main reason over here, like that's the thing. I actually heard this from the Hollywood Reporters Directors Roundtable,
Hmm.
which yeah, the 2019 edition of that.
Hmm.
And Lulu Wang, the director of The Farewell, she
Fair.
told me that they the producers, and like she was also one of the producers. I don't know, but yeah,
Hmm.
she had an offer on the table from a digital platform, but she didn't take it.
Hmm.
She finally took the offer from A24
A24, right?
because
Hmm.
like the the streaming platforms which like they actually promised that they would release the film in like I don't know, like
It'll be
and
the 2 week window, no, for some
no, 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 no.
cinemas, and
So
then
the window wasn't the issue, but they
Hmm.
would release the film at any point, but like they wouldn't campaign it for the Oscars or the Golden Globes thing.
okay, okay, okay.
So that's the problem, and they wouldn't release the film on a an award season release
Hmm.
date, and
The
even
window.
and they wouldn't market it well, and like how they would were like how they will do it with an Irishman or like a
Yeah.
Marriage Story or
Hmm.
like all those
So
films.
it basically, so I guess the point here is also the fact that big names who are
Big
already
name
names
matters, bro. Big name.
can treat the OTT as something of a prestige platform, but like
Hmm.
the smaller name for smaller names, it will basically become direct to video, which
Dumpster.
is sad. But
Hmm.
because see someone like Chaitanya Tamhane, who's not big, right? His movie
Hmm.
also releases on Netflix, and it's
The Disciple.
literally no, like you have to type it in for
Yeah,
like,
for searching.
type it till DHE and then DIS. Like you have to type it till there to actually get it. which
Yeah,
itself is
yeah.
like a big thing, right? So algorithm pe hi nahi aata wo,
Hmm.
basically. So
Absolutely, regardless, because like Alfonso Cuarón actually backed the film. He was the
Yeah,
executive
yeah, yeah,
producer of the
yeah.
film. Because of that, it gained some momentum and like it was released on Netflix. But I don't know, like it didn't
I
had an
don't think
impact for
many people
the.
watched it. Yeah.
Exactly, like
Hmm.
Hmm.
because that's the main reason. Like he wasn't the big name, just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the executive producer Alfonso Cuarón. And like the I actually right now see that like the big names matter, because just like this year itself, Netflix is releasing like they are releasing two films in their award season calendars, which is
Hmm.
called The Power of the Dog. I haven't watched that film.
Hmm.
And even and this film, The Lost Daughter. The Power of the Dog is
Jane
directed
Campion,
by
right?
Jane Campion,
Jane
and
Campion.
stars a big like the
Benedict
A-list cast.
Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch,
Exactly, and
Hmm.
Cumberbatch and Jesse Plemons and his wife
Kirsten
Kristen
Dunst.
Kirsten
Dunst.
Dunst.
Yeah.
Of course, J.C.
Exactly.
Plemons.
And this film, The Lost Daughter, which is directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. So the
Right,
big
right,
names
right, right.
matter because Maggie Gyllenhaal is a big name over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah,
that's the
yeah,
thing.
Yep.
Like
yeah.
you wouldn't like hear from like from a film if Minari was releasing on a Netflix like
Hmm.
platform, so you
Yep.
wouldn't hear it in like their award season thing.
True.
So that's the main
Hmm.
reason the award, like for Netflix and Amazon, like
Yep.
the names matters actually.
Right.
Of course. But I mean, I guess it's just going to be that whoever wants to dig up smaller filmmakers who have actually made something good and has released probably need to make the
That's a
effort now
few.
online to
That's
do
a
it.
very less. I mean, that happened with Sandeep
I'll
or
make the
Pinky Farrar
effort.
also, no? I mean,
I'll
we'll
make the
make the
effort.
effort, I feel,
Yeah.
but
We
that
made the
happened.
effort to go and see it in the cinema hall, Sanjeet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was also a task, no?
For you, it was, yes. Yeah.
But yeah, next
Okay.
question.
We'll move on to the next question from Guru Simran Sidhu _ Sidhu 1. And I found the questions here, by the way. Thank you,
Okay.
Sanjeet. Why is Bhag Milkha Bhag not considered as great?
But is
What are
it
your
though?
opinions on great, and what are your opinions on Bhag Milkha Bhag?
I quite like it.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't rewatched it in ages now.
Yeah.
Um, but
I
it's
guess Guru Simran means that the question implies that he thinks it should be great, right?
yeah. But then I don't know if it was. It was good. I remember. I quite fondly remember a lot of the
Yeah.
movie. I really have a lot of not a lot of memories from that film,
Hmm.
but it was good. It wasn't great, is what I remember. I feel
Okay.
it's still. This is from actually from whatever I remember. I think it still didn't do a lot of things correctly in terms of its
It's a
narrative. I feel.
flashback structure, no? It has like it's
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. It cuts
black and
to
white
sepia,
partition,
Not
sepia.
black and white,
sepia,
but like
sepia. Huh, why? Huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
the yellow colors
Um,
and
Yeah.
all those
Huh.
colors were used.
I don't know.
Uh,
You guys remind me a lot of like I don't know. I'll riff off of you guys. What do you think about Bhag Milkha Bhag?
Go ahead, Sanket, because I have
But
very little memory myself.
no, I
Yeah.
actually I actually love the film,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I have rewatched this multiple times, obviously on TV only.
Hmm.
But the thing is, the word great is like probably misused. It's been misused a lot, because
Hmm.
like people expect that the Oscars or major institutions like
I
major
mean,
publications.
that's what people think.
Bar,
I
no.
mean,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly,
Hmm.
it can be great for it can be
Yeah, yeah.
great for
Great for
you.
you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly, and
Absolutely.
like and that's the only I actually watched this film in January, back in January, called oh fuck, which film I actually watched this film called There Is No Evil, and
Hmm.
and this
Good
was
film.
like yeah, absolutely, it's an Iranian film. Like I watched it,
Okay.
and like no one has watched it, and this like that was one
Hmm.
of my favorite films of 2019, yeah, 2020 actually. So that's the thing. But like it's not regarded as great, the great film and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
it's still like, for me, it's one of the greatest films according to me. And and I'm satisfied for it. Obviously there are many films made over the year, and obviously there are not every film gets recognition from
Yeah,
the major
yeah.
institutions like the
Yeah, yeah.
Oscars.
Most
And
won't actually. Most won't.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
95%. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the reason, like you shouldn't like you you shouldn't actually only watch all those Oscar winning and Oscar nominated
Yeah.
films, and you should limit yourself by watching all those films. You should actually also go through those Gotham Awards and Independent Spirit Awards,
Independent spirits are
Yeah,
always
yeah, yeah.
like
always a better gauge of like
yeah,
what's good.
They gave
absolutely,
Adam Sandler an award for Uncut Gems.
absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
that's
He
the
totally deserved
biggest
that.
Yeah, and then he
credibility.
abused Oscars on stage.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Makes sense, no, though.
Yeah,
No,
Not
he's
abused, but like he actually
shat on them.
sarcastically
yeah,
like
Took a dig. Yeah.
yeah, no,
yeah.
but like he said it very in a very satirical and in a very
Yeah.
funny way, like and that's like
I
Adam
mean,
Sandler being Adam Sandler.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Even
You
Eggers
know,
wanted
it's a
that, you know.
most awkward experience is of watching an interview in person of Noah Baumbach, Adam Driver, Dustin Hoffman, and
Hmm.
this dude,
Adam
Adam
Sandler.
Sandler.
Oh, yeah.
Noah Baumbach and Adam Sandler are so awkward while talking. Honestly, like I like in interview when I was watching, I was lucky enough to go to like New York Film Festival once and
Uh-huh.
watch Meyerowitz stories.
Huh.
And these guys were doing an interview. Now Noah Baumbach is the most jittery interviewer I've ever seen. Like he's you can feel the nervousness, his
He was
nervousness in
taking the interview,
speaking.
or he was
He was being interviewed after the
interviewed?
movie
Yeah.
finished.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, okay.
And it was just so awkward. Like he said, I don't remember specifics, but he was very awkward. And then even
Even
Adam
even
Sandler came
Paul
across.
Thomas Anderson. Have you
Bravo.
seen the Jimmy Fallon thing? Not Jimmy
I
Fallon,
haven't.
Jimmy Kimmel thing he did with Paul Thomas Anderson, and Paul Thomas Anderson was looked visibly awkward, but
Uncomfortable. Yeah, yeah.
uncomfortable. Yeah, not awkward really, but uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Anyway. Okay, on to Bhag Milkha Bhag. I honestly don't remember much of it. I always thought it was a little too long. Like I just remember it being a very long film.
Like if I had to
Uh,
really point out something technically, from
huh,
what I remember, I think it didn't justify a lot of things that were happening in the screenplay,
hmm.
uh, with its conviction that it did for everything else, at least.
You know,
I mean, for all the creative liberties that they took, I mean, they
yeah,
justified it very well,
yeah.
at least cinematically. But like a few things that happen in the middle section,
Hmm,
I especially love the whole Pawan Malhotra track in it.
hmm.
I mean, so I mean, props to them for making it so good. But I think there's like one section I can't really pinpoint it out, but
It's got
I
a great
Actually, there
soundtrack.
was there was a section where Sonam Kapoor, like all those romance,
Slow motion,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Flashback.
like
yeah, yeah.
yeah, like I couldn't relate to it. Like
I mean,
whenever I
so
actually
so I'll tell you, I'll tell you what really happens is when they actually start pinpointing out incidents, right? What happens is it sort of becomes like an inorganic flow to it gives an inorganic flow to the film, which is
Hmm.
what happened, what Sanket was actually mentioning about. They actually put there for what,
Audience,
I mean, I don't
audience
know.
relatability.
Yeah,
Nee, but see,
maybe make the character more empathetic in that sense.
this
Give
Sardar
him more,
Udham had elements which I thought integrated all that
but then
better.
it justified, I
No.
thought, very well emotionally,
Yeah.
which is what it
Huh.
ends with.
W-
Well,
that's
I mean,
that's what I was saying. Like, I mean,
yeah.
anyways, I'm to just cut short the discussion because we'll go to the recommendations first also.
Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, I love the soundtrack actually. Soundtrack is something I've actually consistently come back to.
Yeah. I really
Most of
like
the
it.
songs actually.
Yeah.
And Divya Datta, I remember one scene which
Oh,
is
yeah.
very emotional
The
between
one where she
her and
wears
Farhan. The medal,
coat.
I think. Coat,
Oh, okay,
yes,
okay.
coat.
Coat,
Yeah,
right?
no, the coat
Yeah.
one, the coat one. Yes, yes,
Mm,
yes.
yeah.
That scene I still very
It's such a
clearly.
good film. It's a good film.
Yeah,
Watch
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Don't.
after that, Rakesh Om Prakash Mehra did Mirzia. So this is your last
I mean,
chance.
he did Mere Pyare Prime Minister and
I
Tufan
haven't seen
also,
that. But
which are,
after that, he did Mirzia, no? After Bhag Milkha Bhag.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was still is sort of like quote unquote experimental, like how Delhi
Mm.
6 was after RDV, right?
Sure,
Rang De Basanti.
Sure.
Ah.
Sure, Sanjit.
I
You
don't
are
know.
very,
Like, I
very
actually
kind to Mirzia that way.
actually
Yeah,
met
yeah,
him once. Like, I
Okay.
attended a Q&A
yeah.
of Rang De Basant. Like, I actually
Yep.
watched that film just back in 2019 in theaters. So, and there was a Q&A followed by the film. And he
Huh.
actually told that, like, yeah, Mirzia was, I don't know, like, it didn't work, even in the box office also.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Yeah,
massive.
yeah,
but
bombed,
then
man.
like
Yeah.
even like someone actually asked him like which is your next film, and like he actually told that I actually made Mere Pyare Prime Minister, and like that didn't that film actually didn't work because like it didn't have anyone, bro. Like it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
only had Anjali Patil.
Anjali
Like
Patil,
Anjali
right?
Patil.
Yeah.
Anjali
Yeah, yeah.
Patil, like people only knew her from Newton, and that's
Newton.
I actually
Newton.
love her, but like
Hmm.
I actually want that
Or to
she
get that
Hmm.
recognition.
yeah she like
Hmm.
she deserves the recognition, but the thing is like no one knew her back then, and till now also like people actually don't know her, and like
Yep.
except for Newton, and that's the reason I think people like the film didn't work well in the box office. So, and like he actually told me that told the audience that like they didn't actually gross a lot of money, and Netflix actually saved the film, and Netflix
Uh,
bought the film, so that's the reason.
Ah.
I remember Mirzia being an absolute chore to sit through. Like I was so bored, and I love that aesthetic. I love whatever he's going for. I
Ah.
felt bad for
Greek chorus.
I felt bad for Harshvardhan Kapoor and Sonali.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Harsh Vardhan is a big fan of our podcast, huh?
sure, sure.
Wow.
Please. Kidding. I'm just kidding.
Sure. That's just because we like whatever his. I also like his movie choices actually
But
mostly.
yeah.
Yeah, he
Of
goes all
the
experimental.
yeah, final
Uh,
question, and then we'll move to recommendations quickly.
yes. Final question from the underscore bong underscore cinephile. What does your podcast name mean? Question mark. Question mark. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Wow, same question for me too.
Go Sanjeev. You know this.
It was a
You know.
very random choice. We just didn't want to name it anything with that it would directly point it that it's a film podcast. Now in hindsight, it feels like a bad decision because people aren't able to recognize what this podcast is really about.
You can tell them my interpretation because I think that's
Oh
recent.
yeah,
Like
I
yeah.
mean, Dhruv, you tell your
And then my
interpretation.
interpretation's always
The whole
to do with the actual
the
the
original
Bollywood
queen.
queen, the Bollywood queen now being dead like that way. Like
The
her
Bollywood
talent is dead.
queen being, please point it out specifically.
Mrs. Kangana Ranaut, who else?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And like
But
her demise. That's the
see,
podcast. Like her
this is what
demise as an actor.
ambiguous titles, ambiguous names gives you, food for thought.
It's a Queen's reference, no? A Queen
Yeah,
song
yeah, yeah.
reference, right? Which
No,
I
it's
don't.
the Smiths
The
song.
Smiths. Okay. Okay.
It's an album, Queen is Dead. But whatever,
Yeah.
we were thinking about random names, and
Okay.
we were like,
Cool
okay,
name, but
this is
yeah.
good. We'll go with this, and then we
Yeah.
selected and we went ahead with it. It was very random decision.
Yeah.
But
Just like how our conversations have a random
yeah,
flow
yeah,
to them. Yeah.
yeah. Makes sense, no? We're justifying everything. But okay,
Okay.
moving on to recommendations now for the
Yep.
month. Stuff that we've liked and that we'd like to recommend it to people because we absolutely loved them. So yeah, who's going first? Dhruv, you'll go.
You want me to start?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll go first. So my recommendations are basically a continuation almost of like the horror recommendations we did the last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was basically binging on a lot of horror
Huh.
last month. So my first recommendation is Bob Clark's Black Christmas. This is a 1974 slasher horror film.
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to be the OG slasher horror film before Halloween.
But
Uh,
slasher, I think was like slasher genre became famous because of this thing, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I think that this precedes that also. Like it's before that. I think
Okay.
at least, or
Okay.
it's
Okay.
in the same year as Texas Chainsaw.
Texas
Uh,
Chainsaw 74.
I think Black Christmas also 74. So like whatever, it's
Okay.
the
Okay.
same year of like slasher
Okay. Okay. Reinvention
horror
of
stuff,
horror.
reinvention or whatever, like new invention of horror. But yeah, the great thing about this kind of goes back to my fondness of like 70s cinema, like we've talked about how American
Hmm.
77, which is like The Exorcist and all that stuff, is so grounded in
Yeah,
reality.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
all the characters here feel real. They aren't like quirky, annoying pieces of whatever.
For
And
conveniences, yeah.
for conveniences that, oh, it's easy to kill them, so we'll just make them annoying.
Uh-huh.
So all of the characters here are likable. It's basically a story of this guy who stalks a girls' hostel which is celebrating like Christmas,
Hmm.
and this thing is very popular for the killer cam shot. You know, the killer point of view shot, like where the killer
Ah,
starts to you establish ki wo killer is the one who's observing everything, like that
right,
shot.
right,
That's
right, right.
very consistent in this film, and it's very creepy because you kind of hear him breathing heavily, and then you like just see him lurking
Hmm.
around the house looking at like things, whatever's going on inside the house. And it's like very very slow build up, not
Hmm.
very very slow, but whatever, 70s slow build up of
Yeah,
tension. And like you just keep you it's there's always this idea that something might go wrong in the house,
right. The dread.
and the dread, and it just
Uh,
keeps on building. And then there's this
hmm.
parallel track of one of the protagonists ka boyfriend being this maniac basically, who's like mad because
Hmm.
his girlfriend
Hmm.
might get an abortion.
Okay.
uh, right, and he's like, oh, how can you get an abortion, all that. So there's all that stuff also going parallelly with this, and there's
Yeah.
always this suspicion that this boyfriend is the killer. this
Huh.
this, this suspicion. So like jo bhi usme, there's always like so wo ambiguity ki wajah se they have like this whole critique, if someone wants to read into it,
But
critique of
can you name the
feminism.
film again?
Black Christmas.
Okay.
This
Hmm.
was remade in newer times, and people hated it because it like completely flipped the gender dynamic. So
Oh.
No,
uh,
the other one I think you mentioned, like the hostel one.
this is the same thing. So the hostel, so the Black Christmas is set inside the
Okay,
hostel. Yeah,
Bob Clark's. Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
I got it.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
mentioned the director's name, like
yeah,
again.
yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the my 70s sort of fascination with horror is quite a lot. So I mean, I like most of the stuff they released that
Huh.
time. It was just mean,
Halloween.
mean spirited also, and like brutal and chilling. Like all
Hmm.
combination of that is just fantastic. So anyone who wants to feel like getting anxiety or paranoid, yes, Black Christmas is for you.
Huh.
It's on Criterion. I'm sure it's in other places though.
Okay.
Available somewhere on the internet. And okay, so the next one is, so my next two are even more obscure. So sorry for people who are expecting like conventional recommendations. Second one
Hmm.
is Day Night by Julia Locktev, 2006 film. Julia Locktev's other film already I have mentioned in one of our recommendations. So she's awesome. You should
Was
check
it
out her
the
work.
was it the one in July?
I think it was the Gail Garcia Bernal one, Loneliest Planet.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
She
Okay.
yeah, so she's like a very interesting director. She makes these films on like very isolated characters who like are
Hmm.
taking treks. So the Loneliest Planet was about a couple taking a trek through a Georgian landscape, and then one incident changing everything.
Okay.
Day Night is much more like much less ambiguous.
Hmm.
Usme at least you have like, it's about this an unknown girl, unknown ethnicity, unknown name, everything unknown, and you see her come to New York, and she's planning basically a terrorist attack somewhere.
Oh.
That's it. So it's a lot. So you just see her coming, and then you follow her. That's it. Like the camera
Huh.
is like that. You know how it's in Mother, like the camera is consistently behind
Behind.
Jennifer
Yeah.
Lawrence's character.
Behind
Like
the character. Yeah.
consistently following her and just looking at what she is doing, what is happening around her, and everything. It's got that real, again, tension to it, real world or real time tension
Hmm.
to it. So, I mean, Locktev is one of those filmmakers who makes nail cutting tense, like the act of nail cutting, because the
Huh.
sound design, like whenever she clips that nail, it feels like something's like cracking inside her brain or something like that. So
Oh wow.
it's like, yeah, so it's very immersive filmmaking that
Hmm.
way. which
Hmm.
is why I really like it. The first, like, it's a 1 hour 30-minute film. The first like 50 minutes of it are probably the best thing I've seen last month. Or last month isn't like probably
Wow.
in a while actually. It's one of my favorite first 50 minutes. The last 40 minutes, I'm not sure if it like sticks the landing as such. But
Hmm.
if I'll tell you the film I kept on thinking about weirdly while I was watching this was Amir by
Oh,
I
Rajkumar
forgot
Gupta.
Rajkumar Gupta. Yes, I
Yeah.
don't know how much Amir is inspired by this, honestly, because there seems to be a fair amount of similar
Amir,
storylines going on.
that film, right? The Khandeval,
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
Rajiv
Rajiv
Khandelwal.
Rajiv
Khandelwal.
Khandeval.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that the similar plot where the guy comes and someone on the phone tells him to like commit this thing?
Yeah,
Correct,
Yeah,
yeah,
correct.
yeah. So it's a similarly sort of the conceit is similar. I think Locktive's direction is much more minimalistic. Like उसमें कुछ भी वो नहीं है. Like
yeah. Huh.
score नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है. Like, it's literally following her throughout the town and creating anxiety through just following the girl. And fantastic performance from Louisa Williams. So that's my second recommendation. That film is also available somewhere online.
Okay.
Uh, right. And my last one is the most obscure recommendation.
Huh.
So please deal or bear with me. This is called Lance. So again, it's a downer of a month. I was going through, I was watching all the horror stuff, right? So
Huh.
third one is Landscape Suicide by James Benning. It's a 1987 film.
Okay.
It's a true crime documentary, right? The other true crime documentary I saw this month was the much more well-known House of Secrets, the Burari deaths on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Uh, that kind of stuff I would categorize as horror just because it's so chilling. Like I find stuff like that really scary. But this Landscape Suicide is like a different sort of experimental take on like the true crime stuff. It's
Hmm.
like comparing two different killers who committed crimes in America at different times, at different time periods. So it's like,
Okay.
Ed Gein, right? On which this Texas Chainsaw Massacre and everything is
Right.
based. He
Hmm.
committed stuff in 1950s in like Wisconsin. So one half of the story is only focused on the 50s ka landscape, like Wisconsin and everything, and Ed Gein ka ek interview in which he's confessing to it or not confessing to it. And that story is compared directly with another girl in the 1980s who killed a classmate.
Okay.
Just so, and it's set in the 1980s, that one.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think at least I've seen it twice because I didn't
Huh.
get it the first time as such. But the idea is to compare two landscapes at two different times and seeing if there are any things that have changed or not changed, or like
Right.
what are the changes that have been made. And it's looking at it very obliquely, like it's not looking at it at all like straight in a straight way. It's going completely, it's letting the viewer do everything, and like it's composed of a lot of what is that, static shots which are like
Hmm.
observing, and
Right.
that's what gives me like the chilling effect. Like just if something's placed somewhere like a camera and you're just watching it and it's like a blank wall and like everyone's performance is a bit like awkward, and I'm just like, what is this? Like I just feel uncomfortable.
Hmm.
So this is the third film that gave me anxiety. So
Hmm.
yes, my anxious anxiety inducing recommendations of the month are Black Christmas, Day Night, and Landscape Suicide.
Yeah. Yeah.
Landscape Suicide is on Criterion, by the way. So I don't know if you can track it anywhere else.
Criterion connoisseur. Okay.
Two
Sanket, you
films
go.
I've watched. Okay.
So I watched a lot of famous films, I would say.
Hmm.
Like I watched The Wolf of Wall Street, to all those West Side Story, The
You
Dark
should,
Knight.
sorry, you should have put your Sanket's first, yours third, and my second, because then the first one has like a good people would listen to it, Second one, they'll have to stick around. And third one, will end up with something more popular. Anyways, go ahead, Sanjay.
No, but like I watch all those famous films like the West Side Story, The Dark Knight.
Yep.
I actually rewatched it. We
Yeah.
rewatched The Dark Knight and Wolf of Wall Street, and even
Hmm.
Swadesh, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, all
Yeah.
those films. But like I would say the most like underappreciated film I watched, in the month of October is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, lovely film.
Such like actually last month I watched this film called The Breakfast Club, and
Hmm.
it blew me away, like just how can a director who is in his, I think in his 40s, could think into the like could think into the mindset of a young adult, and like how he
Hmm.
or she would react, and that actually blew me away in The Breakfast Club. And when I watched like I was actually excited to watch this film, like and other films by John Hughes. So I watched this film, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I was like, wow, such a chilling film. Like obviously it's like not similar to The Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club is quite serious. It becomes quite serious at the end, but like this film is like out and out chilling and comedy film.
Yeah.
And I haven't like, have you watched like this film?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
have.
yeah, I've also seen. Yeah.
I quite
Wow,
like it.
such a brilliant film. Like
Yeah.
I would like to say, like actually I discovered that the second lead of this film, who like the character, I actually forgot the name of the character, but like I also don't remember the name of the actor, but he plays Connor in the Succession. So like uh
Oh, I
yeah,
was unaware.
yeah,
Connor is who?
The
I'm
the
eldest.
forgetting.
the eldest
Oh,
guy.
the eldest dude. Okay, okay. The
Yeah.
awkward dude.
No, the one who wants to be president.
Yeah, yeah. The awkward dude only
Awkward.
in
Okay. Yeah.
Succession. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of people are awkward in Succession. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But-
So yeah,
Yeah.
he actually played the second lead in like in this guy, in this film. So I just loved how chilling his day becomes, and obviously we all know that like at some point of time, in every film there is a downfall or a downturn. A character actually has it.
Yeah.
So but like in this film there's no downturn, like downfall
Yeah.
for this character Ferris Bueller, and like such we all actually root for this character. Like I actually connected myself to this character, and I actually loved that character as well. And even that the character, the second lead, how uh like how scared he was, like about like when he was just touching his dad's car, and like how scared he
Yeah,
was
I
when
remember
he
that.
was
Yeah.
just roaming around the city of Chicago. And like I actually thought that he like the character Ferris Bueller was his alter ego, and
Hmm.
actually talked to Ratvik Parikh, who is a feature film director who
Hmm.
made a film called Dug Dug. He
It's about to release, right? It's like it's premiering festivals, right? As of
Yeah,
now.
it's currently premiering the film festivals. It
Yeah.
premiered in the Toronto International Film Festival.
Yeah.
So he actually he and I talked about this film, and he told me that this is also a theory about this film. So, and he also liked this film, like and he actually felt that this film is better than the Breakfast Club. But I personally like the Breakfast Club better because like it also talked about those issues. But like this film
Hmm.
is one of my like all-time favorite comedies. Like this film actually joined that list, like of the Superbad, like Superbad and
Hmm.
other American Pie films, and like those are also one of my favorite all-time favorite comedies. So this actually joined that list, and even
Hmm.
a Dictator is also on that list. But like I don't know why, but Ferris Bueller, like it's like a very ultimate chilling film. And even at the end as well, when his sister realizes that okay, I'm actually bad to Ferris Bueller, I'm actually bad to Ferris, and I actually have to support him. Like, and like I don't have to be an ass, and I don't like have to just criticize him and hunt him down. So I actually like that transformation of that character. So I actually like that. So yeah, so that's actually my first recommendation. My second reco is To the Ends of the Earth, which is directed by Kiyoshi
Kyoshi.
Kurosawa.
Okay.
Yeah, like I loved that film.
Sanjeet's favorite director.
Wow.
I no, he's not. But
No, so
anyway, go ahead.
yeah. Actually, I like that film. This film actually like resembled me for Lost in Translation, because the character, the lead actress here is like not in Japan, but she's in Uzbekistan,
Uzbekistan.
and here she is like she's shooting a commercial, no, sorry, not a commercial, but a docu series, a travel series actually, to be specific. And she's shooting a travel series, and she isn't there 100%, but like when she the character actually sits on a ride, and
Yeah,
then like
there's that. Yeah. She,
absolutely
yeah, I think it's the one where you the spinning thingy, right? I
spinning
forgot.
thing,
Like a
exactly.
Ferris, like a
Ferry
very
ride,
Ferris, of course, like a Ferris, like
a
a very
very
quick Ferris
dangerous
thing. Yeah.
ride. She sits on it
Yeah.
and she experiences it, and like this is for like that thing, like
Yeah, for a
that
commercial almost, like whatever the Traveloka,
the
it was
travelogue, like
completing that.
it
Yeah,
was like it was part of that, but
yeah,
like and the director, that director or the cinematographer didn't like the first take, so she had to take like she had to be in that ride for 2 or 3 times. So
yeah.
I actually felt for her, like she
Uh,
had to go through all those stuff, like all
Yeah.
those horrors
Do
of that ride
do they
to
cut in that scene, Sanket? I've forgotten. I saw this film a while back, but I know
no,
that Usme
I
tension
don't.
is like proper, like
Yeah,
you feel
but like I
really
don't
sick.
think, like I actually forgot about that. That's the
Hmm.
thing about films. I don't like much remember all those shots, but like
Yeah.
I remember the characters and the stories,
Huh.
and that's the main reason I
Yep.
actually liked about this. Like she is just a person living in this unknown country. Like she didn't
Hmm.
know much about, and that's the thing. And even like I watched the Q&A or like which happened in the Toronto International Film Festival, and like it's funny, this film, like it's just celebrating the like some years between Japan and Uzbekistan, the friendship, like the relationship between those two countries. So that's the thing. But and he actually told the audience that like Uzbekistan is a Muslim majority country, and like here she is roaming around the country, roaming around the city with in shorts and more like skirts, and like it's like kind of awkward for the country to like for the girls to be wearing all those things. So, like that was and that was the main intention for Kiyoshi Kurosawa, to show this awkwardness of that character as well, and awkwardness of the country's citizens to like feeling about that character. So I actually quite liked that film. Yeah, and the other reco I actually wanted to like mention is The Squid and the Whale, and uh,
Bomba.
just loved it. Like
Yeah.
obviously I actually watched A Marriage Story like way before watching this film, and way before watching While We Are Young. But Marriage Story, like I just loved that film. But when I watched the Squid and the Whale, I like it became like it actually tied me. It actually, for me, it Marriage Story and the Squid and the Whale are the best film by Noah Baumbach. Like those like this film is made of all those awkward moments and like little
Very
moments and
awkward.
scenes from like the daily life of that family. Like
Yeah.
there's a scene where Jeff Daniels and his son Jesse Eisenberg and his Eisenberg's girlfriend were actually having a lunch, and what happens was like usually whenever a parent like goes to a dinner or a lunch date with
Mhm.
his son or the son's girlfriend, he doesn't accept money from that girlfriend. But
Hmm.
here there's a scene where he just accepts the money, like without anything, like without even hesitating. And like I was like, wow, like he just portrayed one of the like most awkward, like one of the most like I don't know
Yeah.
how to say it, but like one of
Bomback
those
is really good at this though.
yeah,
Yeah.
one of those like scenes which we can also perform, like no, like normal people can perform it,
I mean,
like
that is one of Bomback's very good qualities of how he writes dialogues. Uh,
You
because
are
not
a
just
if
big
dialogues, not just dialogues, the characters as
Meyerowitz,
well.
yeah.
no,
You're a
I'm
big
a
Meyerowitz fan, right?
Meyerowitz fan. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
huge Meyerowitz fan.
I think my favorite is Squid in the Whale actually, and I just remember Jeff Daniels being supremely entertaining and
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
a
yeah,
prick in that film though. Like he's absolutely a moron in that film, from whatever I remember.
yeah,
He's an
yeah.
ass.
Uh, yeah, but yeah, I'm not the for some reason I've never connected with Bomback that much for some reason. I've
I quite
never
like Bomback. I think
I
he's a more a kind of a version for Coens, but he makes it more uh, relationship based amongst
okay.
characters. I feel
I'm a big Coen's fan, so
I'm a huge Coens fan. I mean, I think he's trying to get that whole comedy right in a more
I always think it's more Wes Anderson, both of them.
okay. Then I got it wrong. Then it's probably more Wes Anderson. Yeah, it's 2 at night. I'm getting
They no no
wrong.
they've written no. He wrote the Fantastic Mr. Fox movie. I think
He
Baumbach
did.
wrote it. Yeah,
I
yeah. I
didn't know
think
about it.
Baumbach
Sorry.
wrote it. Yeah,
But
Okay, okay.
your Squid and the Whale was actually
Actually,
also produced
actually,
by Wes
Wes
Anderson.
Anderson.
then
Okay.
then it makes sense. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, then if you look at
Yeah.
even Royal
And,
Tenenbaums and then Squid and the Whale,
and
they look like
actors also
companions.
crossover. No, Greta
Yeah, yeah,
Gerwig
yeah.
is in so much of. I mean, never mind. She's his partner, so of course
Wife.
no.
No, I mean, what a
Yeah,
partner.
yeah.
But
Yeah. No, I
but
But
prefer my Gerwigs and my Wes Andersons over Baumbach. Baumbach is too awkward for me. It's
but
like
I think
scratch
like
the
that's the reason
surface.
I like
hmm,
about, like that's the reason I like about Baumbach, that he creates all those characters which are like which we know from our daily lives. Like
huh,
I think I can relate to a Jeff Daniels character in the Squid and the Whale, and I can also relate to a character from Adam Driver's, like a character, Adam Driver's character of
In
Marriage Story,
yeah.
and I can always relate to those characters, and that's the main reason. Like Noah Baumbach is one of my favorite writers, and like he just tells the stories which we hear and which we see in our daily lives, and like even Spike Lee also does it at one point, like at certain level. I haven't
hmm,
watched all of Spike's films. I've just watched
huh,
his Do the Right Thing and Black Klansman.
huh,
But like both of those films, marvelous, like superb. That's the thing.
hmm,
And that happens with like Noah Baumbach as well, and like all those characters, like sorry, all those directors in from that period, like the Wes Andersons, the Greta Gerwigs, and all those
Uh,
people from the Mumblecore.
hmm,
I'll find you more NYU. I was saying NYC filmmakers who make this type of stuff.
hmm,
Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
I that's the reason I loved his Francis Ha as well. Like such
hmm.
a beautiful
Yeah.
film he made. Just like based, like set in New York, set in Brooklyn, and like just
Yeah.
showing
Yeah,
Brooklyn
yeah,
in black and white, and like inspired by all those films like Taxi Driver, and films like I think even The Conversation as well. I don't know which
very
city.
New York it is. Like his
Very
films
New
are
York. Yeah.
so New
Yeah,
York. Like it was weird when I went to the fest. The people were most excited about Baumbach films,
Huh.
because because Woody Chacha is not allowed. No, now. So it's Bombak who is
And that's the thing, like that's the thing,
Flag
because
bearer.
I actually miss all those films, like I actually miss those films which are set in Mumbai itself. Like the last Mumbai film I watched was Dhobi Ghat, and like
Hmm.
such a beautiful representation of Bombay. Like obviously there's
Hmm.
Sacred Games as well, but like
Wasn't there? I
Tu
don't.
Hai
Do you
Mera
guys like?
Sunday. I really like
Yeah.
Tu Hai Mera
Yeah, I
Sunday.
was going to see this. Yeah.
I haven't watched that film yet,
It's
but
quite
like
lovely. It's
Yeah.
a good.
Yeah. You
I'm guessing
should.
it's a good Bombay film also. I'm
It
not
is.
sure.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, from whatever I've seen.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll never get the authenticity correct
Yeah.
in terms of
but
my.
like I wanted to say that there's a film called Ek Chalis Ki Last Local,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I have seen that.
it came closed, but I don't know, like it didn't like portray Bombay like
What
how
else?
this
Yeah,
thing like
Mumbai Meri Jaan. Is
Mumbai
that
Meri Jaan as well, but
Love
like
per square foot.
uh,
Do you remember? I mean,
I
so
haven't watched that
fairly.
one.
isn't Tu Hai Mera Sunday a better version of that?
It is. It is. I mean, I'm just
Uh,
thinking of whatever
Tu
Bombay
Hai Mera
maybe.
Sunday you watch Sanket, it's very lovely. It's really nice. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Lovely
Mm.
film.
Sure. I'll definitely watch that film. But like I was, as I was saying,
Huh.
like Ek Chalis Ki Last Local, like it didn't match up to the films which I watched. Like After Hours by Martin Scorsese.
Like
Scorsese.
the
Like
high bar that is to match
I
that.
mean,
no, but that's the thing. Like the characters were very similar, because
Hmm.
this guy in After Us, he actually like had a date, and like he then roam around like in Brooklyn, the entire
Yep.
New York
yeah.
City, and
Yeah.
like he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
just roaming around in the New York City, and like we actually that through that film I actually watched how Brooklyn in night was, and that's the reason I loved that film. But
Hmm.
in this film Ek Chalis Ki Last Local, I couldn't like watch like Mumbai's nightlife, and like it would have been brilliant, but like if they had uh, like shot more in like Mumbai's nightlife, they actually like had more uh, indoor sequences, like they had all
Right. The
those
whole
dawns,
gambling thing. Yeah. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is
dawns
what
and
Abhay Deol, right?
Abhay
Abhay
Anyone?
Deol,
Deol,
Abhay
Neha
Deol,
Dhupia.
Neha Dhupia, exactly.
Got it.
So
Uh, yeah,
I'll go with
I have no
my
idea.
recommendations.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Please do.
Fadafat, my recommendations. MX
Hmm.
Takatak. Fadafat. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so I didn't get to watch a lot this month because I was busy, and I'll be busy for the next month as well. But anyway, I managed to catch a few films. Not all of them were great, but a few of them were really good. And I was on a spree of watching The Sopranos for the first time. So I might as well go with Sopranos as my first recommendation, which
Hey,
Sanket
I
has
thought you
already
weren't going
mentioned.
to give.
I was going to give. I don't have any
Okay.
other good recommendations. I feel. I mean,
Okay.
Sopranos. I'll just keep it because I think it's a fantastic show, and as Sanket described it, is sort of a peek into the Italian American crime boss life and all of that. But and it's also like a tongue-in-cheek comedy about the lifestyle as well. I mean, it makes fun of Goodfellas, and it references Godfather movies and all the crime films. So it's based in that kind of a world where these films exist.
Hmm.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, and the whole take is about capturing a daily life. So daily life would also include a crime boss cleaning his pool. So it's that intimate a peek into a life of a crime boss. But moreover, it's not really like how people would put it as glorification of criminals. It's more like,
Hmm.
and it's one of those first shows where this started the whole trope of an anti-hero,
Hmm.
which I think Breaking Bad took it a notch higher, and
Hmm.
made that as like a benchmark. But then without Sopranos, and I think even Bryan Cranston quoted in a lot of interviews saying if Sopranos and Tony Soprano didn't exist, probably Breaking Bad and Walter White wouldn't. So it makes sense because even so here's the whole thing about Breaking Bad also, which I really love. The whole writing is very audacious. I mean, they have gone ahead with ideas where you could just probably imagine, and they've expanded on those ideas. For example, the Fly episode and stuff like that. I mean,
Hmm.
so there are episodes um, in the Sopranos also, not really exactly, but they are like road movies some of the episodes. Some of them become like proper thrillers. So I mean, it's a varied bunch of episodes, and the whole idea is the whole concept is more or less to deconstruct the whole big picture, that
Mhm.
comes up with a mob life, so to say. So yeah, the Sopranos is one of my favorite shows now, I guess, and one of my recommendations. I mean, so it's 6 seasons and I think over 100 episodes. So take your time watching
Nice.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Homework recommendation.
I mean, I don't binge shows. I sort of take time to watch them. So I've taken over a month to watch them, the whole show. So yeah, I mean, take your time. You'll grow. It'll grow on you. If it doesn't in the first season, it'll grow on you by the third season, I hope. And it's the whole thing, right? With all these shows, the world is so rich that you become so familiar with the world. You know where the car gets parked. You know where the laundry is kept. You know where the tools are. It's that well built a world. So
Mhm.
yeah. And my second recommendation is a John Carpenter movie called Mouth of Madness, which is absolutely a bonkers wild horror film. So here's what I like about John Carpenter. Um, so he is so imaginative in terms of the kind of film he's creating. I mean, it. So he obviously has taken a lot of inspiration from B movies, the earlier 50s, 60s B movies, and it is evident in his earlier movies also, like Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York, and They Live, obviously, which itself is like the biggest thing that he's taken from the 50s, paranoia and whatever. Sorry. So in the Mouth of Madness is very meta, and also this is something with John Carpenter. I'm so sorry. John Carpenter does really well is he'll make these films, these crazy films about weird concepts and over the top nature of it,
Hmm.
and they are symbolically talking about the present society of that time. I mean, some
Mhm.
of them is applicable still today, the
Yeah.
whole thing, but
Consumerist, materialist stuff, right? Yeah.
consumerist, yeah, the whole thing, which as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think he makes a weird horror films
yeah,
like
with
except
absolutely.
Halloween, but like I haven't I haven't watched all of his films,
Okay,
but like I
okay,
watched The Thing,
which
like
is lovely.
absolutely like he like it's a good concept, but like obviously it like it's looks like a B movie, like
Because
Yeah.
he's treating it as one.
Hmm.
So I mean, if the intent is that way, then he's probably
Hmm.
succeeded at it. And the
Most
whole,
of his films look like that, no? Like a bit
yeah, most of
schlocky.
it.
Hmm.
That's the whole point. No, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's nuts and bolts filmmaking, which is my term of quoting some films, which where you actually have to make an effort to, uh, like I don't know how to
It's
explain better, but
stripped down, no nuts and bolts. Basically,
strip down.
no,
Yeah,
matlab
that's the right word.
basically it's nothing to do with like you don't have extra stuff in it. It's just like thriller
Absolutely.
means thriller. Like two people
Yeah,
locked in
yeah,
a
yeah,
room, that's it.
yeah,
Done.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they are, and the whole idea is ki it's not revolutionary in terms of its concepts actually.
Yeah.
I mean, not concepts in terms of its filmmaking. I mean,
Yeah.
there is craft obviously,
Yeah.
but it's not like he's doing a non-linear screenplay or
Like
something
yeah.
like that. But
Yeah.
it's more to do with the concept. It's a bigger sell than anything else that happens in the film.
It's like Alien, no? Like Alien
It
is
is.
nuts and bolts
It
only.
is. It is. I mean,
First Alien, the Ridley Scott.
Ridley
yeah, yeah.
Scott one.
Huh.
Take for example Ford versus Ferrari. Also, I feel
That's
it
also
is
yeah.
proper
Nuts
nuts
and
and
bolts.
bolts of
It's
filmmaking.
actually got nuts and bolts also.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
one count to one, but for this episode, but
we have to yeah, you have to do all that later. Yeah.
but no. And the whole point of this film is it goes bonkers after point, and I mean, and the other thing that I like is it is kind of cosmic horror. It plays with the idea of cosmic horror, which is very Lovecraftian in nature. If you've read his books, H.P. Lovecraft, then you'll probably get it. And if you've seen The Thing, it is basically cosmic horror, very overtly in
But
that sense.
yeah, I want to ask the
Huh.
bonkers to bonkers to bonkers, isn't it starts as bonkers or is it like slightly level and then
Have you
bonkers,
seen
bonkers,
Have you
bonkers?
seen They Live?
I've not seen that. I've only seen Halloween and
So,
Thing
so it
from
is very
Carpenter.
simple. It in terms of its format, it is one single protagonist,
Hmm.
and he's like a normal worker, and weird things start happening to him.
Okay, got it. Oh, it's
And
like
he's
Mother. Like
it is. I mean, there's like a lot of movies,
my
and it's
reference point is Mother, but yeah, of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's sort of not. It sort of also shows like a dystopian world, but it's not like like exclusively a dystopian world.
Got it.
But it is talking about mass hysteria and mob
ठीक है.
mentality and stuff like that. So
Got it.
fantastic
So
film.
there's
Please,
another movie
please
that
watch it.
released this month, which talks about mob mentality. Sanjeev, do you want to? Is that one of your recommendations?
Which film are you?
Halloween Kills.
Halloween's. Oh my God, my friend. You had to bring that up, no?
Of
But
course.
yeah, whatever that film was, or whatever that was. I mean, it's not even a film, but whatever. So I am slightly
I love
conflicted.
that director David Gordon Green actually. Like
Yeah.
such a great guy. Like he made this
The stoner comedy,
yeah Pineapple Express.
Pineapple
Pineapple
Express.
Express.
Yeah,
Right.
He
so
also made some serious stuff. No, like
George
Yeah.
Washington.
No, didn't
Stronger.
he?
He wasn't he stronger with
Yeah.
Jake
He's
Jake
Jake
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal. The
Oh,
Philadelphia bombing.
no, Boston bombing.
Boston
Boston
bombing.
bombing.
Boston bombing. Oh, sorry.
That
And he
was
also
good.
made, I think,
He made George Washington like in 2000.
Sandra Bullock movie also
50-50.
something.
50-50 he made.
50 was by him. I thought that was some guy with surname as Levine.
Oh yeah, it's
I
yeah.
don't
Sorry,
think
it's not Gordon Green. Yeah. Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
but like you should I don't think you might have heard about this film, George Washington, but you should
Yeah, I've
like
not heard, yeah.
watched.
I've not heard.
Yeah, you should definitely watch. It's on Criterion.
Okay.
So you should watch that film. Like such a greatly he actually is a white dude, and he made a film about a black community and
Huh.
black characters and black
Huh.
communities. Such a great film, like a sweet film. It's a coming of age film. I actually haven't I have watched that film back in 2017 or 18, but like I have to rewatch that film. It's a great film, like I think. And even Barry Jenkins also like appreciated this film in his Criterion Closet video. And like you should also check that out, like that video as well, and like this film as well. So it's one of my favorite films as well, like those coming of age films actually.
Yeah,
sure.
Third recommendation, Sanjay, Halloween Kills.
What is your obsession? But
I was pissed off with that movie. That's my obsession.
So even I'm pissed off with that movie. You're not alone. But,
yeah, but you were told not to watch it, so it's fine.
So, but I was going to watch it anyway now.
Okay.
Do you think I'm going to listen to you? No.
Wow, nice.
No, I'm kidding. But okay, so the third film is I'd like to put like two films because one is a rewatch and the other thing we've already done an episode on. Because the other things that I watched this month haven't been that good. So the one rewatch that I had was The Other Guys, Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg comedy, which is directed by Adam McKay, who I absolutely love when he's making the best comedy out there. When he was with Anchorman and stuff like that. I mean, whatever the improvisation that he does. So yeah, The Other Guys was lovely on a rewatch. I mean, I was laughing out loud for the first 1 hour. The other 1 hour I don't remember because I was almost half asleep, but I watched it.
What a recommendation!
I know.
You were
no, but I've already
You've
seen it. No, so it's a rewatch. But the other thing is Dune, which you should.
Denis Villeneuve's Dune.
Dune.
Denis Villeneuve's Dune in IMAX. That's
IMAX. In IMAX.
That's the title. Yeah.
Please watch it in IMAX or at a theater. Don't miss it. Support cinemas. Cinemas need you, my friend. So yeah, my recommendations are these. I didn't have a lot to watch.
That reminds me. Can I just before we end?
Wait. Or Sardar Udham also. Please watch that movie on Amazon Prime.
That's probably a better film than Dune.
Okay. I mean Sardar Udham. So people who haven't heard the Sardar Udham episode, please listen to that. Where we discussed in depth of why it is a deconstruction of biopic genre in a sense.
Yeah, and on which you also wrote an essay which you will share with us.
Yes, my friend, I shall share with you.
No, but I was saying,
Huh.
that reminds me. Before ending, I just want to also recommend this anthology series film, which I really liked. It's from this year,
Okay.
called The Year of the Everlasting Storm.
Okay.
It's like the whole, COVID-19 happened, and everyone started making short films on COVID-19,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole pandemic and everything.
Yeah.
So this anthology series has 6 or 7 films, and like 4 or 5 of them are very, very good, and like
Okay.
2 or 3 of them are like fantastic, like out of those 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
So the first one, which I watch the whole thing. I think the whole anthology series is very lovely.
Yeah.
But the specific ones I wanted to pick out were by Jafar Panahi, called Life.
Right. Right.
It's lovely. I mean, when is Jafar Panahi not lovely is kind of the big thing, right? It's the you know what you're going to expect with the Panahi thing. So
Yeah.
I just won't, like, it's basically his very aged grandmother comes to visit them in
Yeah.
their house. Like, she lives separately, and it's the pandemic has happened, so she's come all like wearing all the suit and everything, right?
PP kit.
And yeah, PPE kit and everything, and then they have like a very I people say cute, I say horrifying iguana in the house. uh and like the grandmother is horrified by it also, and the
Yeah.
whole film kind of revolves around their relationship, and it's really lovely.
Yeah.
So Life is very good. Then there's Night Colonies by Apichatpong Virasitukal. I hope I pronounced his name correctly.
Yeah, you did.
And that is another beast into itself. Like, it's a film about insects, is about all I can say, and it's all
Wow.
dependent on like sound design and like lighting and like cinema.
Where is it available, this film?
Wow.
This
wow.
film somewhere on
On the
Okay,
internet.
Okay,
yeah,
somewhere on the
somewhere
internet.
somewhere on the internet. And
Yeah.
and the last one, which is probably my favorite, is Dig Up My Darling by David Lowry. Which
Okay.
is this is like a companion piece to A Ghost Story, basically. That's what it
Okay.
is.
Okay.
A very lovely companion piece to it.
Okay.
But yeah, like this is the way I think pandemic shots can be done really, really like innovatively, at least, because
Yeah.
otherwise, like, a lot of pandemic shots are just like whatever
Yeah. I mean, whatever
yeah,
exist.
exist. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Okay, so that was a really, really good episode. Thanks to Sanket for joining us for this episode. You can follow Sanket on his YouTube channel, Cinephile Sanket. Check out his recommendations as well, separately apart from this episode. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Spotify, follow us on Instagram at queensdead.filmpodcast, follow us on Spotify as well. It really helps. It helps us in growing, reaches out to more people who like listening to films, and share it with friends who'll enjoy this episode. And if there are any suggestions, just DM us on Instagram. Thank you so much. Yeah, Khatam.
गुजर गए पोपट काका नब्बे साल जी लिया यहाँ शौक से कीजिए भी उनकी शोक सभा गुजर गए पोपट काका एले में रहते थे वो सबके चहीते थे वो